If your bulking gains are coming at the cost of your gut, then this video is for you, because your bulking journey shouldn't consist of bloating, digestive problems, breakouts. And I've been there, I've done the dirty bulk, and it's not nice, trust me. So this video is gonna talk you through how you can actually bulk up whilst looking after your gut at the same time. For a lot of young men, you probably don't even think about your gut and what's actually going on the inside. You're just worried about the abs, big arms, and whatever else you're looking to achieve. And listen, I get it, I've been in a similar position to you. People putting their hands around my wrist, me getting barged off the ball in football. I needed to bulk up and I wanted to do it for myself, but I also wanted to do it for my athlete purposes. However, there's no need to do a dirty bulk like I did, eating cake, eating pizza, just to put on muscle. There's a cleaner way to do it and a better way to do it. And this video is gonna be me showing you how you can do that. And it's not just me, I've helped athletes, I've helped bodybuilders, and I've helped everyday guys just put on size and bulk up without sacrificing their digestion or their insides. At the end of the day, you can do this with a protocol that means that you're putting on size by eating clean, whole foods and looking after your body inside and out. At the end of the day, we want to change our physique, yes, but we also don't want to sacrifice our health in the long run. So here's the protocol that I use for sustainable, gut-friendly bulking. So first and foremost, what are the problems and the issues with dirty bulking? Why am I telling you to bulk up cleanly and not the way that I did myself? And the reason being is that you're going to be eating a lot of foods that have additives, preservatives, you name it. But that's not the only issue. You're going to be overeating. You're going to be going for poor food choices, like I say, pizzas, cakes. Imagine what that's doing to your body inside, even if it's making you look a bit bigger on the outside. You're also gonna be putting so much stress on your digestive system because you're constantly snacking, you're constantly eating, and you're not letting your digestive system rest. At the end of the day, gut health needs to have good digestion, whether that's going for a post-meal walk, whether that's drinking a lot of water. And I think a big thing for most guys is that if you're struggling to bulk up, you tend to look for these mass gainers, these protein powders, and just basically relying on supplements. At the end of the day, a lot of these supplements aren't clean. A lot of them are whey, which is fine in moderation, but a lot of the whey has dairy, which causes bloating, which causes stress on your digestive system. So if you're intolerable to whey, like I've only recently found out, then it's gonna cause a lot of stress on your digestive system. So when you're looking to bulk up, stick to the clean whole foods and only use protein powders that one are clean, but also as a supplement, so it supports your diet. It's not the main thing in your diet. So when you're on a bulk, you need to be in a calorie surplus, as we know. However, a lot of those calories can be made up with good macronutrients. So I'm talking about easily digestible carbs, your white rice, sourdough, ripe bananas. These are good for your gut, but they also pack a punch when it comes to calorie density. When it comes to bulking, protein is obviously key for muscle growth, which is what we're looking to do when we're on a bulk. We're also looking to put on size and weight, so we need to think about being in a calorie surplus. So when it comes to proteins, a top tip that I give to my clients is look for the proteins that are higher in calories. So what do I mean? What's an example? For example, a chicken breast has a lot less calories, but it's higher in protein than a chicken thigh. So a chicken thigh is a great choice for someone on a bulk because you're gonna get more calories and you're still gonna get protein, but it's gonna make it a lot easier to hit your calorie targets. Why do I say that? Because protein is one of the most satiating nutrients out there, so it keeps you fuller for longer. So if you're on a bulk and you're keeping full with higher protein options like chicken breasts or lean turkey mince, for example, then it's gonna make it a lot harder to hit your calorie targets. So that is a top tip when it comes to protein on a bulk. But as always, on a bulk, try and go for the cleaner protein sources. So for example, salmon, chicken thighs, like I said, beef mince with a bit of fat in it. Healthy fats are not going to make you fat. It's the amount of these foods that will. So if you're gonna eat protein, go for the better sources. You can have protein powders as a supplement, but aim for clean, whole food options the majority of the time. Next up is an absolute game changer when it comes to bulking, and that's healthy fats. Healthy fats are brilliant because they're great for your brain and your heart health, but they also pack a load of calories for not much density. So what do I mean by that? If you add a tablespoon of olive oil, for example, to your shake, you're adding 120 calories for not much volume in your stomach. So a tablespoon of olive oil is not gonna fill you up as much as 100 grams of chicken breast would do. So that makes your shake have a lot more calorie density for not much volume, which is a game changer on a bulk because a lot of people, including myself, suffer with reaching their calorie targets because they're so full. So adding healthy fats to each meal, whether it be a sauce, whether it be an oil, whether it be adding dark chocolate to your shake, gives you more calories for not much room in your stomach. An absolute game changer when it comes to bulking and looking after your gut is fermented foods. Make sure that you're having at least 1 to 2 fermented foods in your diet daily, even if you're bulking. I'm talking a tablespoon of sauerkraut, a tablespoon of kimchi, a little bit of kefir. All of these things provide good bacteria for your gut, so when you're bulking and you might be eating a little bit more calories, it helps with your digestion. So make sure that you're including fermented foods even on a bulk. And finally, do not forget your fiber. Your gut absolutely loves fiber because it feeds those probiotics and the good bacteria from things like fermented foods, for example. A lot of people will focus on their protein targets and completely ignore fiber. What is the point in hitting all these protein targets if your gut is unhappy and can't actually absorb the protein that you are eating? So when you're on a bulk, do not forget your fiber. It's as important as the protein and the calorie surplus. Now listen, a game changer when it comes to bulking is obviously smoothies and shakes. Liquid calories are easy to get in and they help you hit your calorie surplus and protein targets for the day. So when it comes to making a good protein shake, my top tips that I used for myself and also for my clients, when you're on a bulking journey and you're trying to look after your gut as well, is add things like collagen, great for your gut lining. You can also add things like L-glutamine, again, great for your gut lining. But when it comes to the actual ingredients and the whole food sources, add things like bananas, gives the prebiotic fibers that we need to feed the good bacteria. We can also add things like yogurt, for example, again, even more probiotics that are going to support your gut microbiome. And you can also add things like spinach, other foods that contain fiber, apples, things like that. Things that are gonna provide the fiber that you need, provide the probiotics, and also provide the protein and hit that calorie surplus. And the final thing when it comes to smoothies and shakes on a gut healthy bulking journey is to make sure that you're only sort of having them once a day. Because if you're having heavy shakes on your stomach, it can make it difficult for digestion if you're having 1, 2 within the space of half an hour apart. You need to give your digestive system a break and let it rest even on a bulking journey. And finally, when it comes to supplements on a bulking journey, there's a few things that could be useful for you. You can have things like digestive enzymes if you're having a very calorie dense or heavy meal. That will help your digestive system to push things through, as well as things like water or walking and getting your steps in after a meal, because those things really help to push things through, especially if you're having a heavy meal like I mentioned. I'm gonna leave the video there. Comment below what you've taken most from this video and what you're struggling with on your bulking journey at the moment. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.